that took us a week. And one of the times when he come riding up on me, I was standing by a motorcycle that was a friend of mine's, and he had wrecked in a ditch. The motorcycle was upside down, and Jack come rolling up like, "What are y'all doing?" But we got a lot of funny stories together with all the riding that we've done. But the funniest story, I have a feeling, is about to happen. It hasn't happened yet, and that's what I'm looking forward to. One way or another, we're gonna have them together.
Everybody always asks me, how did you and Beaner end up traveling together? You seem so different. I say, we're not different at all. Well, maybe a little different. For example, he's CNN, I'm Fox. Just a little bit different. Cycles, when they weren't even motorcycles, my parents would come out and find that the lawnmower engine was missing. And then the next thing you heard was, "Jackie!" Been riding a long time. Started riding Harleys in 1992, and since then it's never been anything but. My motorcycle that I'm sitting on here is my absolute pride and joy. It's a 1947 Knucklehead. It's a Springer front end. It's the last year that the Knucklehead was ever produced. The reason they call it a Knucklehead is you see these 4 bolts across the top of the engine? Looks exactly the same as your 4 knuckles. Got given a nickname Knucklehead. This is one of the hardest bikes in the world to ride because it's got only mechanical rear brakes that are almost 64 years old. No front brakes at all. It's a suicide clutch, and it truly is suicide, and a jockey shift. It's my pride and joy. She's never let me down, and we've traveled all over this great country together.
Leader needs a sidekick, like Batman and Robin. Doesn't matter who's Batman. Jack can be Batman for all I care. But I'll be Robin.
Well, I'm city folk, Beaner's country folk. Whoever said we couldn't get along? He's a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. In the immortal words of Donnie and Murray, America's icon.
Quiet.
I'll tell you a funny story. You want to hear a funny story about Beaner and I road tripping, riding? I said, I got this great idea. There's this beautiful park I passed. It's called the Park of the Canals. It's got an ancient Indian canal that runs through it, supplied the entire valley with water long before there was ever a city here. There's beautiful botanical gardens. It's quiet. I've never seen anybody there. Well, we've been shooting this segment for about 4 hours. And the vehicles haven't stopped. They don't stop passing. The kids on the playground don't stop screaming. And we have jet airplanes that apparently Phoenix changed their landing patterns today. So, they want to hear a funny story? If I could turn this camera on, you'll see him with the most boiling red face because I ruined his cameo. Because I picked a horrible spot.
This particular bike's a 97 Road King that I customized. I like to fix it up, make it mine, give it some personality. Kind of like you do a recipe. You know how to cook something, but we all have different flavors and tastes. This bike is my taste. This is what I've done.
I've had 3 great loves in my life. My motorcycles, my wife of almost 25 years, and great food. When we came back from Italy, we opened up a big Italian restaurant. We had a brick oven pizzeria, we had a butcher shop, we had a delicatessen for lunch, we had amazing desserts, and we had an incredible chef. And I spent so much time in that kitchen, it changed my life.
I was in the Marine Corps in the early 80s, and some of the things I did, everyone does, is mess duty. I was one of the guys that had 3 months in a row mess duty. I like to think that the reason they did that was I was so good at what I'd done.
Who's the leader of this gang? I don't know. I think Beaner likes to think he is. Little does he know, given the opportunity, I'll push him into the sausage grinder. I'll be the leader.
Jack is quite the character, and I like him. He's gonna carry this a lot of times when I can't. As far as who's the leader, that'll show. It'll be hard for me though to turn this down, and But we'll do what we have to do, so.
Biener likes to think that he's in charge of this whole thing. Our lives. He's the boss. If he wants to act like Wonder Woman, I guess I'll be his golden lariat.
Jack likes to say we're a little country and rock and roll, where he's the rock and roll and I'm the country because I'm from Kentucky. But this isn't rock and roll. I'm rock and roll in a country kind of way.
You're still trying to convince these people that you're rock and roll, are you?
Come on.
Rock and roll?
This is rock and roll.
Would you consider Leonard Skinner rock and roll? Or is that country?
What about Elvis Presley? Is he rock and roll?
Elvis Presley was the king.
There you go.
You're never going to get him to believe it.
I'm on the way.
I'm never going to believe
Where's
it.
my glasses? Where's my taking care of business glasses? I might not be the king like Elvis, but I'm ready to take care of business.